Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Learn from your money mistakes. Learn from it. Now, I can be on here and I can do Money Matters, talk about a money mindset and everything. And of course, there are other money related channels that you can definitely learn something from. People looking at it from different ways. They could be talking about anything from money consciousness to the actual technical things that you need to do to get a business started. That's great. But ultimately, the best teacher is yourself. You got to learn from your money mistakes. Now, I have said several times, Rom's credit was shot. I mean, it was just terrible now. It's like, man, credit cards tapped out. Shoot, I couldn't take care of anything, but I learned from my mistakes. Let me get into that credit thing for a second. One mistake I used to make was paying like just the minimum. And that really just understanding that's the worst thing you can do, because you still, like one of my credit cards now, it doesn't have any interest on it or anything. In fact, the other couple don't either. I thought they would have had it by now. Anyway, but here's a problem though. The stuff, with the stuff you already paid for, you get interest on that. To the point you probably you just paying a little bit on the interest and not the actual principal. But I had to learn from that mistake. That's why I say I'm very quick to pay off stuff now. And even with credit cards I might have interest on, I take care of it as quickly as possible. But I had to learn from it, and that was a major mistake, because like I said, I couldn't even get a job, but that was a money mistake. And also in business. Now, I said before, there was a time I could live just off the publishing, but when I look back at it, I could have done things differently. I should have managed my money better. But that was a combination of the money I was bringing in and the credit. So, everything is intertwined. But there was a lot of things. There was some other stuff. I ain't going to share everything, but there was some stuff I could have said. Things could have been different. One thing I'll just say this. Always communicate. If you have a mate, always communicate anything with regard to money. In fact, I would even say this. And this is something just learned from personal experience, but also from seeing the experience of others. Make sure you and your mate, if y'all talking about something long term, like y'all, from the second y'all decide y'all even want to live together, have a conversation about money and how your thoughts about money and everything. Hell, you could be totally in love with someone, but if there's a difference in how y'all looking at money, there will be problems. Now I'll leave it at that. But you learn from any of your mistakes. You learn, okay, maybe you're going to have to be more disciplined. One mistake is maybe you don't have a real budget. You just spend it. You just spend all the money. Like there's plenty of poor people. They spend their money right away, which is why they're poor. They're not managing their money. That's why this channel went from about that business to money matters. Management is everything. I mentioned before spending some time in Southeast DC. My mother was on welfare. We were on welfare. And she get that check at the beginning of the month, but she didn't manage how she spent it, because I'm looking back at it and I wish I was older and had better understanding, because I would have been like, stop spending this money at the beginning of the month. I would have said spread it out. She would spend all the money at the beginning of the month and then be struggling for food at the end of the month. Like I would tell that to anybody who they consider themselves on a poor level and everything. Maybe getting state assistance. Try to spread out how they spend their money. Be smart with it. See, that's a mistake. Or, just splurging. You got some people who make a whole lot of money and they actually gamble. I mean, let's be real. I'm aware of individuals who gamble. Now you can win some every now and then, but that's a slot machine. That's not a wise way to manage money, extra money. You know, yeah, you might be able to get some reward somewhere, but you spend so much to get that little bit of reward. You know, you got to manage the money good. That's the main thing. Because whatever your money mistake is, regardless of what it is, think about, okay, learn from, okay, you got in trouble doing this. Okay, you might have to delay gratification. You know, you might not should spend money on that real expensive fancy car if you living in a place where, or you're living in a situation where you can get your money turned, your lights turned off. Oh, there's plenty of people who do that. Or you spending so much money on the car always with repairs or something. This is very important. Like all the little stuff, like think about how you have spent money and how you've gotten in trouble. Seriously, just think about it. Where, how, the things you spend money on. I give you another example. I told you one time I used to just buy magazines. And I'll still get a magazine, but I remember the time I was getting maybe 2 or 3 a week. And just there was a point I had just a stack of magazines. You know, that's part of who I am. I like just getting information and then trying to use it. I'm a sponge for information. But here's the thing. That was extra money. So what did I do? I learned from that mistake. It's only time I'll pick up a magazine now, it's got to be rare, or it just has like multiple articles in it for me to learn something. Because I'll still get one, but not nowhere near the same extent I used to get magazines. But that was a mistake. I was spending extra money on stuff I didn't really need, you know? I was spending money on stuff. So it was like, okay, got to be smarter here, smarter here, smarter here, you know? Because ultimately that's the best teacher. Ask yourself, okay, you saving some money. How's that helping you? Or you've been spending it like crazy on things that you don't really need or use. How's that helping you? You know, one of the things I say about spending money is my tendency is to spend money on things I got to have some reason for it. Like now, like the magazine thing. I get that. That's actually more business related. I'll get some business magazines every now and then just to learn what's going on. Just to see what's going on. Like I'll get like magazines like that's talking about the top businesses according to the magazine. But it gives me an idea what's out there. See, I'm getting something from it. It got to be something that brings a value to me, not just something for entertainment. You know, not just something for entertainment. Even like what I get for the business and everything. I'm thinking, okay, how can this help me make more money? You know, you got to think about it. Think about it. Think about it. All right. So anyway, learn from your money mistakes. So you know what? You're going to learn from your money mistakes for one reason, because you want to make that money. So you know the deal. Let's go make that money.